And thank you all for joining me today or this morning or this evening, wherever you are in the world, to hear about the SAP HANA Academy's Live 3 real-time social media application, which we will eventually use real-time Twitter data and derive some insights through visualizations and storyboards in SAP Lumira. First, a little background. Welcome to the SAP HANA Academy. If you're unfamiliar with the SAP HANA Academy, we've been around for about 2.5 years now. Once HANA was released back in 2012 and was starting to sell units, Vishal approached my manager, Joe King, and said, Joe, people are buying HANA, but they're really not understanding how to use it yet. They're kind of frustrated, such a complex and dense piece of hardware. So we were tasked with creating the HANA Academy, which you can easily find if you go to the internet and just Google SAP HANA Academy. It will be the first hit right here. It's a YouTube page. It's all a YouTube page. We've been a YouTube page for about a year now. We used to be just hosted on saphana.com. And on the Academy, we now have over 1,000 videos that cover many different topics from, SAP HANA SPS 09, the latest release. We have over 100 videos on that, to HANA Cloud integration, to predictive analytics, administration, modeling, which I'll be showing you some of it later, so we can create calculation views to be consumed in Lumira. I have a whole section on analytics, and specifically Lumira, and different ways to use Lumira and create graphics. We have a whole series on SAP, on Cricket, with the SAP sponsorship for the Kolkata Knight Riders. And this course right here is the Live 3 course. This is the one that I'll be going through. It's named Live 3 because we've taught 3 courses now around the world. We've designed them fully from scratch, and we go and teach them in different classrooms to partners, customers, and SAP employees. And this is the 3rd course. This is Live 3. We also have Live 3 for the SAP HANA Cloud platform. And in this one, instead of using SAP HANA on-premise, we use SAP HANA Cloud platform. And this course is great, and I encourage you all to, if you're interested, to follow along with the HANA Cloud platform one, as it can be done completely for free with the trial edition, the free trial edition of the SAP HANA Cloud platform. And this one is great because we use because we connect instead of Node.js, which you'll see later, we use Java to connect. This piece right now doesn't have any Lumira or business intelligence visualizations aspects at the moment, as we're waiting for the SAP Lumira server to be released with HCP, but that I've been told is coming in a few months, so keep your eyes out for that. And, I highly encourage everyone to go through this course if you're interested and follow along. So moving back to what exactly is Live 3, back in the PowerPoint. So here's the Live 3 scenario. So Live 3 walks through a step-by-step project that builds a mobile application using real-time data feeds that combines sentiment analysis with predictive analytics, whilst exploiting native development features of SAP HANA's development platform. The goal of the Live 3 project is to allow a CMO or someone from the company to better understand the social networking sentiment relating to their company's services or products. Once they can realize that sentiment, they have a better idea and are able to identify those people in a position of influence that publish negative sentiment. With those people identified, they can then target them for educational outreach to hopefully mitigate some of those negative thoughts they may have. So Live 3 is a native SAP HANA application. It's built using SAP HANA platform. It leverages real-time data feeds from social networks. We also use data modeling in HANA Studio, native SAP HANA text analysis, native SAP HANA clustering for segmentation. We use OData and SAP UI5 as the user interface. Once we've created our app that allows us to track different Twitter keywords and hashtags, we will build a calculation view in SAP HANA Studio that can then be consumed by SAP Lumira. Once we have that view in SAP Lumira, we're able to construct visualizations and storyboards, and we'll deploy those to the SAP Lumira server. And then from there, we'll actually be able to embed our real-time, consistently updating SAP Lumira infographic into our app, which then can be consumed on any device. So from this picture, the Twitter API will go in and we'll get some tokens that we need. And once we have that, we'll connect to Node.js. Node.js is the bridge, the plumbing, between the Twitter API and our SAP HANA database. Once we have the data come in and stored in the SAP HANA database, we'll perform some predictive analysis and text analysis based on the tweets that are coming in. So to do that, we'll identify different users, their sentiment, if they're influential, if they're saying positive or negative things, and we'll segment those together. Then we will build a web service with OData and Access.js, and this will allow us to call different hashtags and Twitter keywords from the web. Then we'll build a user interface, and this can work on Chrome, HTML5, Android, every different platform you can think. And so that'll make it easier for people to consume and use the application so they can find social media insights. Once we have all that data created, like I said, we'll create that calculation view and use SAP Lumira, SAP Predictive Analysis to perform some further analytics. Here's just another good visualization. It's the same one, practically with the chalkboard. Showing you, I'll keep referring through this throughout so you can see exactly how the whole process and flow of the course goes through. So the first step in the course is to generate tokens for the Twitter API. Now, to actually do this course, you need if you want to follow along, you need a free Twitter account, which is really easy to sign up and get. Once you have that new account, you can follow a few simple steps and go to the developers page, and I get these 4 tokens. These tokens will be key to make sure that you connect your Twitter account and its API to SAP HANA later on in the course. The next aspect of the course, we will configure the SAP HANA application on the server. We'll create a developer user, and we'll also create the Twitter tables that will be used throughout the course. Eclipse is used throughout the Live 3 course as our SAP HANA Studio. First, we have to configure the HANA Access Engine. The Access Engine works with languages such as JavaScript and OData, which will be used for our web services. We will execute some scripts. Also, I failed to mention in the beginning, but all of the code that we use throughout the whole course is all available on the SAP HANA Academy GitHub website. I'll point that out to you at the end, but it's also linked right on the course and in this presentation, as well as on the YouTube page all over. We will use some code to create a script server. The script server is a special service that we will use that we need for the predictive analytics library, which will then be used to perform our clustering and get the text analysis for our people. I will create a developer user and give him the admin privileges. And then we will create a tweets table. And now this tweets table right here, it will contain the username, the ID, the created date, the text, the language, the reply, the retweets. These will be important later on for determining someone's influence, and also the latitude and longitude, so we'll know exactly where the person tweeted from. So now I'll actually show you a live demo of the system because I have it running in the background. So I just got to reconnect to my remote desktop. So right here we have the end application, and so as many of you are in America, I assume you know that today is tax day. So right here, I can quickly do hashtag tax day. And if I hit start, you now are tracking as started. So now Node.js, which I'll explain in a little bit. This is actually connected our HANA system to our Twitter API. And as you can see, tweets are being inserted right now in real time. And we will perform some analysis on this later on in the webinar. So back to the presentation, we have Node.js. This is what I just showed you with the tweets being inserted. Node.js enables us to load real-time data from the Twitter API into the Twitter table that we just created in the SAP HANA Studio. First, you can follow along. We have an entire series of videos about how to download and install and configure Node.js. It's Chrome's, Google Chrome's JavaScript runtime environment, and it's great for foaming. Once we've installed it, we can create an application with all the dependencies that we need, such as stripping emojis, which are great because HANA doesn't really enjoy, those smiley faces and those big thumbs up and the rabbit bunny ears. And we can then create a JSON package. Our app will listen on a specific port, which you might have saw earlier. It was port 8888 in our example. And we'll be run with a start and stop command. You say just did tax day and start, and then all of a sudden it was right in there. And we can also do that instead of from the app. We can do it from the web using this great service called Postman, which is right here. Also, when we're configuring the Node.js connection, we'll use those 4 Twitter tokens that I mentioned earlier that you had to get at the very beginning. Postman is a REST client in Chrome, and it's great to enter simple commands on the web. Once we enter something, as in the example of the videos when they were created, we were tracking for Ebola as this was created back in November. And if you simply go to the Postman, download it, and then do a fetch on Ebola, it will start inserting all the tweets that are related to that. Also, to be aware of, in the HTTP version, we'll actually be using Java, which is embedded in the HTTP cockpit to connect to the Twitter API instead of Node.js. Now, once we have all this data loaded and tracking coming in real time, we'll want to perform some text analysis on that data to actually see and derive some latent insights and some beginnings. And once we have those, we want to group the different segmentations of people based on their influence and stance score. And this text analysis enables us to determine, and categorize each of these Twitter users. So in this example, we've determined influence is whether someone is a follower versus a leader. And it's a ratio of the amount of times they've retweeted and reply the user does versus the amount of retweets and replies the user's tweets have. So someone is a follower if they retweet and reply to a lot of other people's tweets, and they're a leader if their tweets generate a ton of retweets and replies. And then we'll also have their stance score, and the stance is based on positive versus negative sentiment based on our text analysis. So we'll go through, and with HANA's engine, we're able to identify tons of different words, and we can determine if that word is positive or negative, or strong positive or strong negative, weak positive or weak negative, and we'll assign a different weighted number to that. And then we'll go through all of that user's tweets all in real time and have a composite score. And so then at the end, we will have, when it's done out, we can create this clustering of the people. So first, we're able to look at 5 different languages in Twitter in SAP HANA right now and perform this sentiment analysis. We can look at English, French, German, Spanish, and Chinese. We'll create a TA, a text analysis $ table that will be used throughout the course. And we will have 5 types of sentiment, those neutral, and then the weak positive, strong positive, weak negative, and strong negative types of sentiment. We will use HANA's data mining capabilities in the predictive analytics library to use PAL's k-means algorithm clustering to group similar users together based on their stance and influence score. Like I said in the beginning, the CMO would probably be much interested in finding people who are expressing negative thoughts about a new product that has been released but are very influential within the Twitter sphere. So then they can reach out to those people and run a educational outreach program. Once we have So as you can see, we've mapped all the clustering together and on this line. So this is the stance. So these people are right here, negative 1.5. They are negative 15, negative 10. So this person right here is pretty negative, but they have hardly any influence. Where these people are kind of up in this quadrant, are negative but actually have a lot of influence. These would be the people we'd want to target for an educational outreach program. We'll also create a dev user and live through package right here, which will be used later on in our web services. So moving on to our web development workbench and our web services, which is this section of the course right here, we will use this service called OData. Now, we use OData because our mobile application consumes data via HTTP, and OData allows us to access that HTTP through a RESTful approach. This makes the HANA data easily available throughout HTTP and throughout the different calls that we can use, and so we can interact with it pretty easily and simply within the web and within a mobile application. Our web service is great because it makes data and information from HANA available all over, and we also use, including OData, we use another service called XSJX. Once again, we'll create and drag many different lines of code into our SAP HANA web development-based workbench to create these different areas so that we can call in the clustering and the stance and scores of different people and call them kind of on demand with some simple typing in URLs all connected to our HANA system right here. As you can see, once we've done all the code and different parts of it, we can now view it in XML format right here. And if we do format JSON, it turns that XML format into much easier read JSON format. As you can see, these are different cluster numbers, and in this cluster number 6 right here, these are all people with a negative stance but slightly negative influencer, and we have 10 different users. So if you simply call up and you can see different areas, and you can easily call from the web and see where all of the different users are located. So for the user interface, we use SAP UI5. It's a front-end UI, and a SAP UI5 comes pre-installed with SAP HANA on the web. In the XS Web IDE, we'll create a new package with a few different files that once again we'll get the code from GitHub, and we'll quickly create this this user interface, this application that you saw earlier in the day with these 5 different tabs. It gives us a split screen with the different code that we enter, and it's automatically adapting. It has 5 different menu items, this overview which shows a video, the segmentation, which is this one right here, where we graph the same clustering that we had right here, but now it's in a little nicer format in the web. It's we have tracking, which as you saw earlier, where I was able to start and stop and track for tax day, and our segmentation code uses AJAX to populate the UI with data and tweets, and is enabled through an OData query to drill down through different bubbles. So I can actually click on this big bubble if I wanted to, and it will show me some more information about the different users. The tracking allows us, like I said, we can start, stop, and also reset the query and functionality. So if I wanted to change from tax day and start tracking the Champions League soccer match that's happening later today, or start tracking the NHL playoffs later tonight, I can get loads and loads of tweets in there. The great thing about SAP UI5 is that it works with many different languages. So if you just change your Chrome settings, you're able to change this right here. Like you change it to French, and everything will show up in French, including if you click there. And we're also able to simulate if we enter areas up here into the URL. We can simulate if it's running in iOS or Android, so you can see the different functionality if someone's accessing it from their mobile phone or from an iPad. We also can build a fully fledged native application, native mobile application with Cordova, and that is detailed in our Live 2 course, which is run very similar to this Live 3 course. So if you're interested in that, highly recommend you check out those videos on the SAP HANA Academy. Finally, before we get to the Lumira piece, we'll want to build some calculation views in the SAP HANA Studio that can be consumed by SAP Lumira. We need these calculation views because we can't use OData in SAP Lumira, and these give us a much better information view that we can then perform our visualizations and storyboards on. First, we'll build a time dimension on the tweets, and we'll build that for a 15-minute basket, a 30-minute basket, and an hour basket, so we can do some time analysis on it. We will use SQL scripts, and also we can use CE scripts to create these different views. And right here, we'll have aggregation. We can filter on profanity in our calculation view, so we can make sure that no swear words are coming through. We'll choose to build our view with just a few simple ones, such as the text analysis type, the text analysis token. Those are actual words, and the ID of what comes in. We'll put a distinct count on the ID and hide the ID later on, so it doesn't show up in our Lumira system. Once we're in SAP Lumira, right here, this is our final calculation view. And you see we have the basket hour, the basket 15 minutes, and the basket 30 minutes, along with our type and token. So right now in this example, Bob was tracking a match that actually occurred last year between the UEFA Champions League soccer match between Manchester United, which is his favorite team, and Bayern Munich, who is the big German side out of Munich. And it was a big match, and Manchester United was defeated and run out of the tournament. But right here, he did a number of tweets that were coming in over time, and you can see there's a big spike right here, which he will further analyze once he goes into SAP Lumira. I note all these times, too, in this example are with the from Greenwich Mean Time. So once we go into SAP Lumira, we'll connect to this graphical calculation view that we built. You can see the different types that we have, and we'll choose the different dimensions and measures that we want before we actually go and create our view. Once we're in SAP Lumira, you can, as many of you are familiar with, you can drag the different measures and dimensions on the canvas to create all of the visualizations that you want and desire. So in this example, Bob dragged over the tweet count, just get the total number of tweets, broken out by over 15 minutes. He filtered for the 4 types of sentiment that we're interested in, so we're not really interested in the neutral sentiment. So it's strong negative, strong positive sentiment, weak negative, and weak negative sentiment. So once Bob has filters on those, and he's tracking for around 7 hours, so about 2.5 hours before the match starts while the match is going, and about 2.5 hours after the match starts. Once we've done that, we can see in a stacked bar chart the different types of sentiments per 15-minute block. Now, Bob is tracking for Manchester United, so most of the people tweeting about them are probably big Manchester United supporters. And so right here at this mark, we see a huge surge in the number of tweets, and this actually correlates to when Manchester United scored a goal right before halftime. You can see there's nearly 7,000 strong positive tweets. So once we have that graphic created, we'll create a new one, and this one we can track the positive sentiment and the negative sentiment tweets per hour during the event. So we'll filter for just the basket hour, and then we'll cut out a lot of the hours just surrounding it, and then we'll only look at the 2 extremes, so the strong positive sentiment and the strong negative sentiment. And as you can see, there's a lot more strong positive sentiment throughout the match than strong negative, but they're all kind of correlate together and run through. Another graphic that Bob will create that will be later put into his SAP Lumira storyboard and infographic is a tag cloud. Now we want to see some of the words that are being used, some of the superlatives, as the soccer commentaries say, that are being used in describing the match. So as you can see, when we just do a tweet count for the token, there's thousands of words, a ton of words. So we'll filter for only the top 100, and we'll get best, celebrated, great, all the different positive sentiment that is coming through this Twitter data that we created. We collected in real time back last year. I'll be doing this shortly with all of the tax day data, which should be pretty interesting. We're also able to create in Lumira, numeric point charts, and this is these are the total number of tweets that he had, over 70,000. He duplicates that. He can just do it for the positive tweets by filtering for only those two sections and also the negative tweets. So now he's got his share of different SAP Lumira visualizations that he was able to create pretty quickly with that real-time data that came in while tracking a soccer match. The next section, Bob shows how to build infographics storyboards in Lumira. So inside of that, we'll choose a new blank infographic. You got to make sure in the beginning to size it perfectly. So we did it so it goes right up to here to the text, because that will fit later when we plug it into our SAP, our Live 3 application. So as you know, a great part about the infographics and storyboards now is that we have access to Flotilla, which gives you access to thousands of different pictures. So Bob will first elect to have a businessman photo. So once he has that, you add it and drag it into his blank infographic. He'll also bring in the visualization of the positive tweets and angle it right here. He'll find the sum sign and then drag the different counts of tweets that he has, the total count, the positive sentiment count, the negative sentiment count. Drag that through there. In our GitHub folder, we also have some different SVG files that you can use and add if you would like. So we have a thumbs down and a thumbs up that can be embedded in different graphics, and also a animation of a winking smiley face. So once we've added those into our SAP Lumira session and the infographic we're building, we can continue on. As you can see, he's added now the thumbs up and the thumbs down to the different positive and the different negative tweets that have come in. You can see over here, if you want to, you can log into Flotilla, so you can remove this little watermark that's over the man. And this refresh page on open will be key when we later embed it, so our that is updated in real time. Once again, he modifies the line graph instead of just little points. You're able to put the thumbs up and the thumbs down to represent the strong positive and the strong negative tweets that were coming in over the different hours. And to the stack bar chart, Bob will add just a winking smiley face right here. And as you can see, it will wink repeatedly. I'll move on to the SAP Lumira server, which we will use to deploy storyboards, so we can share it with our colleagues and anyone else who has our access to our Lumira system, or we can just give them a static one. But if they do have access, and they can see the data being updated in real time. A storyboard gives us the option to publish. Once we log in and connect, we'll have it right here. So we'll log into the Lumira server. In our storyboard, we'll elect it and choose to publish it, and then it is published to the Lumira server. Once we are actually in the SAP Lumira server, which we navigate to by going to our HANA system, then SAP/BI/Launchpad, we have the button to option to right here to share. So this URL, and we can share with our different colleagues. We can send different messages and everything. We up here, you have the option if you include and title bar equals true. This will bring up the title bar right here. And if you don't have that, then it will just be this section of the screen. And then once you have the title bar, you can also add the edit button. So then someone up here can click edit, and then they can actually work with and compose and modify the infographic when they're in the SAP Lumira Studio. And so a great way we can test the workflow so that we know we're connected to HANA in this example is Bob then goes again and starts the node app.js and then uses the Postman again to recall. See right here, we start up the node.js, and then we go back into the Live 3 application and elect to track what we were tracking earlier, MAN UTD, so that's the abbreviation for Manchester United that's commonly used. It's a lot easier to use in the Twitter sphere and spelling out all of Manchester and United. Once we start tracking for that, again, you can see that more tweets are coming in. And then, like I said earlier, if you when you have the option on the page settings, you turn this refresh page on open to on. And then once we have that, you can see the graphic right now. Pay attention to these numbers: 70,475, 3,721, and then 6,410. Once the Node.js is open and loading tweets, and this is turned on, and we then we republish the story back into the Lumira server, we'll see the numbers have increased because more information and tweets is coming in about the topic that we were tracking. So once we have that storyboard created and infographic deployed to SAP Lumira Studio, the final part we will want to view the stored infographic in our that we stored in the SAP Lumira server in our Live 3 SAP 5 UI application. So to do that, we will want to override the current overview tab. That was the top tab that just had a quick YouTube video from the SAP HANA Academy. We're going to want to embed our infographic about the soccer match into that. So first we will go into the code on the SAP Development Workbench. We'll choose the app view, and instead of this was overview segmentation, yada yada, this is now we'll just change this from overview to analysis. And then we'll save the app view. Then we'll actually go into the overview section of the code right in here. And this is, right now it has a YouTube video. It's displaying with different height and width. And we will go in and we will copy and paste the link to the infographic that we've embedded in SAP UI 5. And we will paste it in here. And now make sure that if you're not on your own system, you got to actually put the IP address in here for HANA, and you got to make sure that this port is actually open. But once we have that, you can change the width and height. Now you can see in our Live 3 application that we actually have the, instead of the overview tab up here, we've dragged it down and put it here. We have an analysis tab with our updating infographic that you can scroll through. And so that's how we did it back in the example. Now we can see in application all of the tweets coming in for tax day that was tracked. So now that we have all that, to show you that that is real, I'll go to the SAP HANA Studio. Actually, I already had it open right here. And so right here is the calculation view that I created earlier that we will be joining soon in SAP Lumira. As you see, right here we have it filtered for expressions, for the profanity expressions. We've joined it, and we have the different baskets of time. So if we navigate in here to our text analysis tweets table, and we open the data preview, we can see that we have over 5,000 rows already on tax day, tax return, self-tax day. So we've got, just tons of data to analyze right here. We can add a filter if we want, and we will do it on TA type. And we can just see right now real quickly all of the different strong positive sentiment that we have. Negative. once you've filtered on that, you see in love, progress, so much, awesome, most wonderful. I don't know how these people are saying the best about taxes, but thankful, but you can see we have only 188 people who are expressing strong positive sentiment about the tax day right now. Once we have that, we can launch our SAP Lumira. Right here is our connection to SAP HANA. Once you're in Lumira, we can create a new file. New. Here we have our tweets analysis that we've already created. Saved all of our data, instance ports in our user. Right here. We'll have one measure in tweet count, and then 5 dimensions of 3 basket times, the token, which shows the actual word that's being tracked on, and then the text analysis type. We'll create. This is right now populated with live data that's coming in, as people are tweeting and, filing and returning their taxes at the last minute. So if we do a quick one, we'll drag the tweets count over here, and then we'll drag the basket of 15 minutes, because we've been tracking for about, half an hour, so we have 3 different blocks. If we actually do a stacked bar chart, or stacked column chart, and then we drag the CA type on here, and then filter for the 4 sentiments that we're interested in. I wonder if it's going to be more negative or positive thoughts about taxes. So if we choose all 4, that's okay. Now you can see week positive is actually front of the day back in this one, and week negative, strong positive, and strong negative, only 78 in the big block that we have. And so, yeah, that's kind of shocking. I thought there'd be much more negative sentiment being talked about and expressed what people are paying Uncle Sam right now in the United States. So if we want, we can create a new graphic and just see exactly how many tweets we have come in so far while we're tracking. 2,631 live tweets. We can duplicate this, and you see exactly how many positive and negative tweets there were. So let's say sentiment again. We'll choose the strong negative and weak negative tweets. Only 233. We'll duplicate this graphic again. Change the sentiment to positive. See, almost 3 times as many positive tweets have come in than negative tweets about with the tax day hashtag. And then finally, we can see exactly what are some of the words used to describe some of the positive words that are being used right now to describe tax day. So once we drag this in here, and we can drag, we will choose first to do a tag cloud. We need to add another dimension, so we'll bring in the token. It's taking a little while to calculate. Once we have that, you see, look at all the different words we have. For tax day is probably the biggest one, because that was the hashtag we were looking at. So we'll do a type, sentiment, and we'll just look at the strong positive and weak positive words that are being used. And you see people happy. Let's filter just a little bit, maybe do the top 40 or so words, so it can become a little bigger. And now, once we refresh it, we can see door on accident, delicious, special, nice, easy, great, progressive, happy. People are probably happy that they're finally paying their taxes. Awesome. Save. They save money. They're getting a bonus. Interesting. Productive. So that's the demo right there. As you can see, we still have tweets being populated and coming in rapidly. And, it's real simple when you're on the Live 3 application. If you do start and stop, we'll just stop right now. Stopped, and as you can see, we've stopped in the Node.js. We've stopped tracking all the tweets. So that's pretty much going back, just to wrap up the presentation now that I've explained everything. As you can see, we took tweets from the Twitter API in the live feed for the hashtag of tax day. We've connected the Twitter API with those 4 tokens to our Node.js so that we can listen and connect and send those tweets into our SAP HANA system, into the tweets table that we created. Once we have all that information in the tweets table, we're able to perform some text analysis and determine people's stance and influence score, and then we're able to use the k-means clustering algorithm from the SAP Predictive Analytics library to group different people together who have similar influence and stance scores. If we have that, we've used OData and web services so that we can consume our HANA data in HTTP, and we're able to call it from a Postman service. And we're also then use the SAP web development-based workbench to create that and create our SAP UI5 application, where we're also able to track and view the different clusterings from a mobile site. We can also do it on our phone, so you can track and connect to the HANA system from anywhere if you want to quickly get some insight on, if you're having a big trade show or something and you release a new product there and you want to see exactly what's going on. The team will quickly pull up their phone and click, and they've got some insight coming in right now. And once we have that, then we use Lumira to perform some analysis on the tweets, and then we can embed that and put it back into our application, so then it's really easy for users to view it. So thank you all for attending. I'm sure many of you might have some questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. Our contact information is where any questions with the Live 3 app or anything in general just involving HANA or SAP Lumira or many of the myriad of topics we cover, just please feel free to email us at the HANA Academy at saphana.com or follow us on Twitter at SAP HANA Academy, and also our YouTube page once again as youtube.com/user/SAP HANA Academy. So I'll turn it over to Adrian.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tom. Great presentation. And we do have a few questions that came in. I'll repeat them right now. So we had a question from Omar saying, are there any options available instead of static URL embedding to embed SAP Lumira generated visualizations into a partner built-in house mobile app that runs on HCP?
Not at the moment that runs on HCP. I know that that's why we haven't for the HCP Live, for the Live 3 on HCP version of this course, the second version that I brought up earlier. We haven't had any Lumira pieces yet because the Lumira server hasn't been released to work with HCP yet. That is coming soon. And I'm sure once that is released and comes out, then you will have the ability to embed those infographics in a mobile app and in a URL using an HCP version. I'm not entirely sure what the full functionality and capabilities of that will be, but I can definitely, if you give me his email, I'll definitely notify him once that functionality is released and we create a video, because we definitely plan on covering that once the technology becomes available to the public.
Yeah, so Omar, you can either reach out to Tom directly at the contact details given, or you can reach out to me. I'll post my information later, but it's adrian.paul@sap.com, and we'll get back to you. Question also, Tom, from Dennis Rasulev. Can we connect to other networks like Facebook or Instagram, etc.? Thanks. I actually already sent Dennis information about how to potentially connect Lumira through custom extensions, but perhaps you can answer that at least from this process, the HANA side.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've talked about creating other videos around this, but it's too time consuming at the moment because we're bogged down with preparing for SAP Sapphire right now. But definitely we have the API for Facebook, for LinkedIn, for even Instagram, so you can track hashtags on Instagram. I'm not really sure how those will work there, but I think one of my colleagues mentioned like 15 or 20 different applications that we had access to the APIs back in December when we first created this. I'm sure there might be more at the moment, but it's definitely, you can replicate it for other social networking services.
So could Dennis reach out to you directly on that?
Yeah, absolutely, Dennis. Please reach out to me, and I'll put you in contact with Phil on my team, who did some of the videos. He's probably the best person who would know exactly where those APIs are and the different code. And, once you've connected to those APIs, and the rest of the course is very similar. It's, only changing a few things to work with the different social networking platforms. Okay,
thank you. Another question from Dennis is, how many languages are supported using this method, and can we create custom dictionaries of good and negative phrases?
Oh, yes. So the first question I mentioned earlier, 5 languages are currently supported for the text analysis. Those are English, French, German, Spanish, and Chinese. And the second question about the custom dictionaries, you can certainly create custom dictionaries in the SAP HANA Studio and then the views, and we've done that in the past. In our Live 2 tutorial, we looked at political data, and we're combining different politicians' names, so that everything was grouped together as Obama. So Barack and Obama we're all grouped together as the same person. You can create custom dictionaries to if it's a calling the spelling of someone because they're typing so fast and you're seeing it pop up a lot, you can combine those two together. So we have tons of videos on creating custom dictionaries in our Live 2 course, which is right here on the HANA Academy. So here's our SAP Live 2. And right here, custom dictionaries for text analysis. So this 22-minute video actually goes through pretty quickly, but that will cover a lot of that for you, Dennis, if you're interested. And as always, reach out to me or the general SAP HANA Academy at hanaacademy@sap.com with any specific questions.
Tom, there was another question from Ravi. What is the engine or method, I guess, that does the scoring for sentiment analysis?
So the engine that does the sentiment analysis is just native in SAP HANA. It's just part of the text analysis library. I'm not sure exactly what the engine is called. I mean, it's all listed out in the documentation. I can't recall off the top of my head, but I can definitely, if you give me Robbie's email, I'll put him in contact with Philip, and he can explain it a lot better than I can at the moment. But it's just a native capability of SAP HANA for the most part.
Okay, another question from Ravi. Well, I'm not sure if it's a question. It says we have data services that do the same thing. He has sent his email address in the chat. So if you could clarify that, please, Ravi. I think I noticed you're typing. Maybe we can give you some more information. And a question from Isaac regarding will this presentation be shared? Yes, in a few days' time, please check the SCN page above. I'll post the URL in a moment again. All the Lumira webinars are available from those pages, and it takes 2 or 3 days' time. We have to do some conversion and video editing, but it will be there soon. So I'm just going to post that again. And here we go. So just waiting for Ravi to clarify his question. Okay, so here it is. Ravi says data services has out of the box functionality for maintaining sentiment analysis rules in an XML file. It doesn't have a very easy edit interface. So I guess it's a question on what is being used and how easy it is to update or maintain using the method you've shown, Tom. Any insights?
I didn't create these demos around the data services. My colleague Philip did, so he created all the videos which are listed here, and all of the stuff that we did with data services is in our GitHub page, which you can access right here. But Ravi, if you email me, I'll connect you with Philip, and you guys can have a conversation. You can kind of flesh out more what you're running into with some of the trouble you're running into with the data services, because I was able to replicate this, but I just pretty much followed, copy and pasted the part that Philip had, and here's all of our different access all of the different parts of the code. I mean, I skipped over a lot of this and briefly ran through it. It's around like 45 minutes to an hour in the videos. So probably if you watch those might help a little bit.
So thank you again, everyone, and this concludes today's presentation. We'll see you again soon. Thanks once again, Tom.
Thank you all. Thanks for attending.